You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor. Subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments below. And be sure to smash that like button. Shea Dixon joins us as he does every Tuesday. Good enough to be flexible with time as we had Ronald Dupree, new basketball GM in hour number 1. Shady, how are you, man?
I was just kind of debating in my mind. I didn't really think about why I was getting bumped. And as you said that, I awaited who was going to be the person who bumped me. I'm good. I'm good.
It's okay that it was that we bumped you for Ronald?
No doubt. I don't know who you could have said that I would have been like, oh, man, what? But
yeah.
That'll work. I'll get bumped by a legend.
Dude, a dude from Biloxi, right?
The South Mississippi boys have to stand together, and then to LSU, and then stay around LSU. That's what we do.
I love it, man. Let's just bring that good Mississippi flavor over here. Bring your Mississippi mud pie with you. I love it. Okay, hey, On3 has updated the team rankings, the player rankings as well. The 5 stars are out there. Tristan Keys, 5-star, number 3 overall player. What stands out about these updated rankings to you?
Yeah, overall, LSU still has the number 1 class. Now, USC's been on the heater. It's crazy. LSU, 9 commits. Ohio State, 10 commits. Oregon, 8 commits. A&M, 10. Bama, 4. So they're on the lower end, but LSU's been in that spot before where you're kind of lurking in the weeds and then you start to go on a run. USC sits right behind LSU, Southern Cal. They have 21 commits. But how we do our rankings is sort of a rolling average of everyone's class. So it factors in your highest 6 ranked guys right now. So LSU is still sitting with the number 1 class. And obviously, as you mentioned, Tristan Keys, a guy out of South Mississippi coming from Hattiesburg, who is the number 1 player on On3. He's the number 1 player on the On3 industry rankings. And his commitment didn't come out of nowhere. LSU had certainly been right there among his top teams the whole way since he kind of emerged as a prospect coming out of Hattiesburg High and picking up SEC offers. But again, we've talked about it on your show, and the fact that Baton Rouge is closer than driving-wise than any school district recruited him. He's got ties to the staff with Donovan Tate, a guy who went to Hattiesburg High, and then just being interested in LSU from the start. And look, what Jamar Chase and those guys are doing doesn't hurt. I don't think this is why he committed, but I found it not quite ironic that the day after Jamar Chase landed that record deal was the day that Tristan Keys said, I'm committed to LSU, and I'm ready to roll. So, yeah, they're getting a good one there. And from then, God, it just pours into kind of the wealth of in-state talent that they've already stacked up. And then you can kind of narrow your focus from there to the remaining guys. And these guys are all going to be seniors in the fall. So not too far off from time flying by. The season goes by and it's signing day again.
What is the latest, speaking of the in-state guys, on someone like Lamar Brown and what the new rankings say about him?
Yeah, Lamar Brown is also kind of juggled playing offensive line or defensive line, leaning towards D-line right now. And Richard Anderson is the number 1 D-lineman in the country. He's committed to LSU coming out of Carr. But when you look at these Louisiana rankings, Lamar Brown checks in at number 1 overall in the industry rankings. Still ranked as an interior lineman. I think even if you ranked him as a D-lineman, you're sitting in that same range of being a top 20 overall player, regardless of which position it might be. And he's a vet. Look, he goes to U-High. The collective recruiting followers have ridden this ride before of U-High kids that have either stayed or gone out of state after spending time their high school career or more on LSU's campus. And if there is a threat here, it would be A&M, in my opinion. And he's got offers from everybody from coast to coast. But I think he's going to stay somewhat close to home here. I would say the Aggies are the other team that are kind of really pushing LSU. But come signing day, and honestly, I might be wrong. I feel the same way about a certain, as I went to Hattiesburg High, a certain current prospect at a player that you went to high school at, that by signing day, I still think LSU has a good shot to keep a guy like Lamar Brown in state.
Let me ask you, well, I'll come to Bradford in a second, but let me ask a follow-up on Lamar Brown there, Shea, because you mentioned that he's trending toward wanting to play defensive line. Forgive me, I've just always assumed that he would land as one of the top offensive linemen, obviously in the country. That's where he would land. How is he being recruited? Like, can you walk us through that process there and how teams are recruiting him and why he might be leaning defense instead of offense?
I think it's really going to be his personal preference, and I'm not even sure how much it is that looking exactly at a room and saying, okay, I could come in and start immediately, bang, at this position, and that's why I'm choosing this side of the ball. Just recently, and he's going to go back and forth on it, and colleges are recruiting him as you're a 5-star top 20 prospect who, tests as well as anybody in the country on either side of the line, at his size. So you can play O-line, you can play D-line, whichever one it might be. When we caught up with him, I guess it was a couple of weeks ago after an LSU, not junior day, maybe just practice, but he was one of the guys hanging out there. And he talked about meeting with Kyle Williams for the first time and kind of them sitting down and going over what his D-line room is like. And he said Kevin Peoples has taken on a bigger role since he started to say, hey, look, I may lean towards D-line in college. So it's all hands on deck, no doubt. But for one that I always thought might end up going O-line, it seems that, at least for the moment, Lamar is kind of talking to a lot of the defensive coaches on the different staffs.
He's Shea Dixon on 3, the Bengal Tiger. Always appreciate a couple minutes here with Shea. Okay, so you mentioned Blaine Bradford, who, of course, surprised a lot of people last week whenever he picked Ohio State. We talked about it, not just necessarily that he picked Ohio State, Shea. The timing of it was a bit odd. But you think that LSU still has a chance by signing day? Walk us through what you're thinking there with Bradford.
I don't think that I would change my thought of why I think LSU has an advantage anymore now than where it was before he committed to Ohio State. I thought that, hey, look, if he does end up going out of state and wanting to get away, that Ohio State was a team to beat. But then again, LSU is a school right here, in his hometown. Gives your parents a chance to watch a family. Obviously, his brother is joining the team now, so that was a year ahead of him at Catholic, and Jacob Bradford, he'll be a safety, so they'd be in the same room. But I think more importantly for me, in terms of LSU's pushes, they've prioritized him since 9th grade. I mean, did he get an offer like after his first varsity football game, maybe?
Sounds about right.
From LSU. Yeah, and that was his first offer. So, in fact, I went back and found it. He had tagged Kerry Cooks in it. So that's like many coaching staffs ago, right? So that's how long they've been on Blaine Bradford. And Ohio State, a team that offered him this past summer. Now, it doesn't come back down to timing and all that. Sometimes it can work against you in Louisiana if it's on the flip side, but he's in the rare, the 1%, right, of kids who get an offer that early and then they never let up on them. So, look, I think that if LSU had a kid from Columbus right now that's a 5-star committed that was like, hey, we might keep him, we might not, you would understand why, because obviously him being a Baton Rouge kid, I think, makes Ohio State fans a little bit nervous. So we'll see. But look, right now he's committed to the Buckeyes. It's a huge gift for them, and they've been on a run at safety, but a lot of time till signing day.
Shea Dixon's with us on 3, the Bengal Tiger. Wanted to also ask you about Hayward Howard Jr. out of Edna Carr, who finally got his offer from LSU, tweeted about that. What can you tell us there?
I mean, Carr, I guess, goes to these state title games for a reason, right? We were just talking about the number 1 D lineman in the country is committed to LSU out of Carr, and Richard Anderson. And as I said, these are guys who are going to be seniors. And then you don't have to scroll very far down the list to find the other Edna Carr stud, a top 5 safety in Aiden Hall, who's been committed to LSU. He shut down his recruitment and isn't even entertaining other teams. And he's a guy that's already north of 6 foot, pushing 180, a lot like a Blaine Bradford, build-wise. That was kind of the thought that you would land those 2 in-state guys by signing day. And they've got Hall in. And now here comes offer number 3 to Hayward Howard, a third guy on that defense. So now that I'm thinking about it, Matt, if I'm offenses and Carr's on my schedule, I'm not feeling great right now that, everybody on their defense is picking up LSU offers and SEC offers. But they had not offered an in-state kid beyond Desirian Ellis at corner. And we know that Corey Raymond will be, I guess you can say picky or whatever it might be, but they're not just handing out offers left and right in Louisiana, and certainly not at a position like that. And Desiree Ellis, who is coming out of the Winfield area, playing at Franklin Parish, he plays quarterback. He was an all-state guy, but he's a freak athlete. Corey offered him as a corner. And now you've got Hayward Howard, who becomes the second corner offer in this class in Louisiana. And I always feel good about those guys. So maybe this is a name to start to remember and file away for LSU fans, because when Corey Raymond offers in-state and you've got a guy like Frank recruiting Edna Carr and others, it's usually a pretty a natural kind of pull that they'll end up at LSU, not to mention that two of his teammates already committed to LSU in the same cycle.
Edna Carr has been very, very good to LSU. Shea Dixon, always good to us with his time. Shea, anything else, any other prospects we missed that we need to talk about or highlight right now?
You know, they had gone on spring break, so there weren't many visitors coming through. But I think we're about to hit a stretch where they get a number of guys on campus through this weekend's kind of non-spring game and whatever they have going on after that. Because in about a month, a little bit more than a month, official visits start, and that's when guys will really start to commit. And but no, I don't think we missed anything too big. Still the number one class, you know, inch closer to 10 commits, and really, I think they've let basketball take the wheel here for the past week after being on spring break, because they have dominated the headlines for sure.
The non-spring game. Well done.
Well, is it the spring practice that
I don't
people get to
know.
go to?
The spring scrimmage, the thing where, whatever we're going to call it.
Did you bleep out all 5 words that she thinks my tractor's sexy at the start of this segment? I was probably tied up thinking about that half the time.
I didn't bleep it. I just was mumbling because I don't know the words. I was going, sleep, beep, blue, beep, boo. That's all I was doing.
Well, it's just the title. It's the title. It's fine.
Well, no, but the part before that.
Oh, okay.
That part.
Musso roll back the tape.
Sexy. That part, I think. Well, I'll do. Hey, Shea, stay tuned, because right after the break, I'm gonna do it again. So just 2 minutes, we'll do it right back over. We appreciate it as always. Thanks, dude.
Bye, Matt.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.